cardio session in. Yes, the sun is not up yet. Yes, I've already done like 7 minutes or whatever on Facebook. That was dead, so I'm like, let's hop over to the YouTubes. It doesn't matter that the sun is not up. I got to get my cardio going. The sooner the better. So, the sun will come up during this stream. It will come up during this stream, and that's okay. That'll be fine. That'll balance everything, and there will be balance to the force. But if you guys will hit that like button, comment as soon as you get in, we'll get this up and flowing. We'll get it up and flowing nicely. Finally got the first viewer in. And like I said, you guys will have to deal with it being a little dark for a bit. The sun will come up during this stream, but I'm not going to wait for sun up. I don't wait for sun up anymore to start lifting. We just get in and start training. But yeah, I feel like I've got a good plan for the minor adjustments. I'm just going to train the hell out of my biceps. So like everything else is going to be down to minimal volume because how hard I'm going to be cutting at this point, which is coming along. I thought I was going to whoosh again today, but I didn't, unfortunately. Based on the scale last night before bed, I'm like, man, I'm down 2 pounds from the night before. We're going to whoosh, but I didn't. Lost a couple ounces this morning. So I'm hoping if we put in really good work today and keep the diet tight, I'm hoping to be 216 tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. But based on my calculations, I should be losing 2+ pounds of fat a week. Jason Durillo, I have no idea what that means, Shiv, sorry. But could you hit the like button for me, dude? And yeah, so I'll just wait for more stuff to happen in here. Nobody's really in here yet, but it doesn't matter. Stream is a stream. We'll just find stuff to talk about. Oh man. Try to keep it mostly positive though. I'm just gonna not let people get to me. I'm just gonna get rid of the nonsense and keep it positive. Right, and I'm going to kind of get rid of weird topics. If people need to not get me political. Same thing when people want to get me onto firearm related topics. YouTube doesn't like that. I'm just going to start banning people for that. Even if they're regulars, unless they're paying me. Like if they got a channel membership and they're paying me, I'll let them stay. But people who are just here for free, they're trying to mess with my money. So it's got to go. But I mean, playful trolling is fine. Just people try to take me to topics that affect monetization or algorithm, and that's a problem. So I need to just be more and more aware of that as I do these streams. So, and people should know better. They've been warned. All right. So, again, feel like this is going really, really well. I was surprised how I looked in some of those snapshots, like the one here yesterday, because there's no editing. That's just straight, literal snapshots from the training footage taken on my phone. Like I use one of my iPhones to film my workouts. Morning, Jason. How much cardio do you do a week? Do we just need an estimate? Since my baseline right now is 3 hours a day, sometimes we do bonus. We'll assume our baseline is 21 hours a week, which is why I'm able to cut relatively quick. Although I've been slowly, I was talking about, I was up at 3,300. I've been slowly taking the calories down more, which I'm almost surprised the scale's not dropping faster, other than I'm still eating really high carb and pounding tons of salts. So that could be a factor. So we're staying fully hydrated, in spite of all that. And the training's going good. Like yesterday, I was really happy with, in spite of that much cardio and a significant deficit, I was still able to do deep, well below parallel reps of 405 on my squat per rep work. So I'm happy about that still. But yeah, honestly, I'm about to take everything down to just kind of minimum effective volume and just try to push to maintain bar weight and intensity. And then other than my biceps, I'm just going to spam the hell out of my biceps because they don't impact your whole system. And if anything, if I could gain any bicep during even an extreme cut, that will put me in a great place in terms of the look. But yeah, so the name of the game, guys, I'm just going to really get lean for real this time, which is not a big deal. I mean, people forget I've lost 100 plus pounds 2 different times in my life. So for me to get in and just say, how quick can I strip 20 pounds of body fat off? It's not that hard. And I know people say dumb stuff like, they say really stupid stuff like, well, it's a lot harder to lose 10 pounds at this point than it is when you're way over. It's like, no, dude, energetically, you're wrong. Anyone who says that has never lost 100 pounds in their life. They're full of shit. Hey, coach, we're early this morning. Yeah, we are. I want to get it going early because I didn't whoosh. I thought I was going to whoosh this morning based on the scale last night. It's like, man, I'm down 2 pounds on my evening weigh-in versus the morning, and I didn't whoosh. I was 217 again. So let's just get up and let's get lots of fasted cardio in and make it happen. Hey, just for how much cardio? Okay, you already have said. If someone who is hustling and bustling at work all day puts over 10,000 steps a day, and would it be considered cardio? Yeah, high step count counts as less cardio, assuming it's brisk. But how many, like, are you walking at my pace? So understand the difference. Like, we're going fast here, guys. I'm not just doing a little stroll down the street, okay? So understand the difference. But I mean, is your heart rate up at all from it? That's the question. That's what's going to determine if it's less. Dropping my like for today. Appreciate it, Rufio. Rufio says respect. Thank you, Rufio. Could you other guys hit that like button, by the way, guys? Get those likes up. Likes help us a lot. So reach over and hit it. This many viewers and commenters, we should have more than 2 likes. I mean, activity helps. Step count helps no matter what. Let's be clear. But for it to be cardio, you do need an elevated heart rate. This 5-day split that goes up or lower. No, I don't like that sort of thing. That sort of split doesn't even make sense to me. Mr. Pole or whatever it was called, right? Yeah, I've never understood the purpose of making a split that complicated. I get an upper lower, I get a push pull, I get a push pull legs, but to go upper lower then push pull, it's what are you doing? It's just complicated for no reason. How do you even figure out where to put exercises at that point? You know? Yeah, hit that like button. There you go. Thank you. You know? Now that you're doing so much cardio, I think it makes sense to invest in a smartwatch like a German. I mean, I could, if one of you guys want to buy me one as a gift. I have an Amazon gift list, wish list. Okay, your stats would be impressive. People don't like that, but that's always my response when people suggest that I buy something. My usual response is, okay, you could buy it for me. I know people don't like that, but I'm being serious. I just don't want to go buy stuff I don't need. You know, like I'll be honest with you, I'm working on paying my back taxes right now. Does that make sense? I'm not buying other stuff till I finish repaying all the IRS. So, and I've been negotiating with them on that. So until I'm done with that, those things are extravagances. So, but in the meantime, so again, this last economy, and they raised my taxes. Like my taxes went up insanely higher with what gets reported. So my taxes went up like 10,000 a year to the government. So, all right. So in the meantime, extravagances like that are just kind of silly. But if you want to buy me one, that's cool. You know, I always tell guys that. And so that's kind of my point. Like, well, I'm not going to go buy extravagances, you know, in the meantime. What is more ideal, squatting with a lighter weight to full depth or squatting with a heavier weight but only going halfway down? Benjamin, what is the state equal? Context dependent. What are you trying to do with the squat? And that'll give you the answer. Have you found cardio has made a noticeable difference in your training in general? I've been following you. Yeah, I mean, it does require you to be very careful with fatigue. But list cardio like this has the least negative impact on your training of about anything you can do. But I mean, yeah, common sense should dictate, even without my experience on it. I mean, common sense would say, yeah, of course it will. You know, especially when you're in a calorie deficit. Could you make the case if it would obviously be less if you were just eating the calories back? More carbs? That's different. But when you're doing it to create a deficit, well, I mean, you're in a calorie deficit. Government polices these currently are not friendly to small businesses. It's insane. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, they're not. And I don't want to go into politics, but you're right. That's a situation. Like as of right now, they are not incentivizing us. And lockdowns have destroyed small businesses. I know people who had small businesses, it was their livelihood and their life for 20 years, who they went bankrupt, completely bankrupt during that. They lost everything. And then, you know, they raised certain types of taxes. I'm not going to go into all the details. But my tax liability for the same amount of income was like $10,000 higher last year than what it would have been under the previous administration. So, like, and when I mean 10,000, meaning that I owe another $10,000 on top of that, like, bam. So, that's why I get annoyed when I have clowns who come in and say stupid stuff like, you're getting welfare, Section 8 housing, and I'm like, dude, you guys are so dumb. Like, if y'all knew the reality of what I'm having to do with taxes and all that, y'all wouldn't be saying that. Like, if they were truly against, you know, government spending and for the taxpayer, they would be on my side and be like crying for me. So it's just dumb. Because yeah, reality, I don't get anything from the government. The government takes an enormous chunk of my money as a small business and self-employed person, and I don't get anything back. Like they give me literally nothing other than those FEMA relief checks that my whole neighborhood got. That's the only thing the government's done for me in years at all of any benefit. Like, I'd be fine if they just didn't exist. So we're like, oh, how could you say that? I'm just saying it. But I love politics because unless I'm getting no views now. So let's talk training. Let's talk fitness. So, wait, is that a little bit of light trying to appear? I only see the difference in the camera, so it must be behind me. All right. But this may be a slow stream because it's so dang early. Like in America, nobody's up yet. So I think everyone watching is across the pond because it's just now 6 a.m. here. And there's only one time zone ahead of me. So it's 7 a.m. on the East Coast, but it's 4 a.m. on the West Coast. And I probably have more West Coast followers than any other time zone. Right? Like multiple of my clients who come in here in the streams are in California. Clients and former clients. Oh man. But once we're done with this, obviously I got to get this phone back on the charger and get some more coffee and get ready for the next one. Yep. Man, we've had no comments other since your last one, so that's going to pretty much kill the stream since nobody viewing is commenting. Here we go. What muscles are emphasized on wide squat versus a narrower squat? Again, Benjamin, going to be very context dependent. How deep are you going? You can't ask vague questions. You've got to be specific, dude. This is a couple times in a row. In theory, you're going to get a little more glute, but maybe. Not even so much glute, though, as maybe other extensors of the hip. With a wider stance, definitely more adductor and abductor. Hypothetically, less quad. But the quad is dependent entirely upon knee angle. So if your knee joint reaches the same angle, you're not going to lose any quad. But if you get a deeper knee angle with a narrower, then yes, you will get more quad. Makes sense? But also that super deep is good for glutes too. I'm seeing more and more people squatting with their heels elevated. And there's no need. That's a sign of honestly a mobility problem if they need it. I mean, and are they using shoes? I don't like the plates and standing on stuff. It just seems reckless to me when shoes are invented to do that. But I mean, really, if you're capable of reaching full knee flexion at the bottom of a squat, you're getting no hypertrophic advantage from that elevation at all. You're getting nothing. And even then, the shoes are invented still for people who can do that, who need to be able to push forward more for Olympic lifts. Okay? So because it's advantageous for them when they do a snatch on the platform or something, that's part of the reason for those shoes, is that additional knee slide. But for hypertrophy purposes, if you are physically capable of reaching full depth of the knee, right, the full depth of that extension, those shoes are a waste of time. And I do know some people who they get knee problems from them if they're not careful. But apparently it works. More calves and less strain on the knees. Why would it be less strain on the knees? I know people who've seriously hurt their knees switching over to squat shoes before. So the same thing as an elevated heel, right? This is built into the shoe. I don't know why people think that, unless it's forcing them to use less weight. But why are squats causing knee problems anyways? Squats, a correct deep squat, should not be causing knee problems. They have an overuse problem, they have a drug problem, they have a diet problem. What's going on? Do they have weak hamstrings? You know? And all I'm saying is it's just simply unnecessary. You know? It's unnecessary steps. But I've seen no reason biomechanically to think it's easier on the knees. I mean, if people want to do it, they're free to go do what they want. Why are we at one bar at 6 a.m.? Come on. Can't have this happen. This is my good time. This is like my beautiful time slot in the morning where I'm supposed to have a strong 4 bars, according to my guy, the company, and it usually does. Hey, we don't discuss this at all. Dude, listen, we're going to no longer do any pew-pew chat. I don't know what that means. What are you talking about? See, that hurts my money, so we're not doing it. Done. All right? This is not a pew-pew channel. And I'm on a platform that is extremely anti-pew-pew. So let's not put your money in my pocket unless you're going to pay me. I started, one of my neighbors, I started goblet squatting DOMs. Ouch. Yep. But yes, I obviously conceal EDC even while on these. It's just I have to, you know, even though I'm in shorts, I still do that. See, we've only dropped code words. All right. Yeah, those DOMs will go away quick on the goblet squats. Goblet squats are great for knee health and patellar tendons though too. They're definitely a win. Now we're up to 3 bars. We're good. Okay, good. I don't know why it was dropping down like that. So yeah, that's going to be the idea. Let's push this cardio really hard on the off day, and we'll see if we can get a whooshy whoosh in the morning. Hoping so. These views are going to be sporadic in this one. This first one of the morning is almost never good though. Is there much difference between dip and flat bench press regarding what part of the chest? No. The only time a lower chest starts getting affected significantly is when you start going to higher inclines. So it's not about parts of the chest. And I think people forget that. The data doesn't really show hypertrophy differences in the pec. So stop thinking of the pec minor. That's a smaller muscle. So when you're thinking of the overall pec, Benjamin, it's just one big muscle. The pec major literally goes all the way to here, all the way down to the rib cage below the nipple. You can't really differentiate significantly different parts of that so much until you go to a really steep incline, because it all inserts at the armpit. There's a single point of insertion, and it's just one muscle. And that's been way overblown. So the biggest difference between a dip and a bench could be the stretch, because the dip may allow you to get more range of motion depending on your structure, and the fact that it removes some of the anterior delt. So the more decline you go, the less delt you use, and the more you incline upwards, the more front delt you use. So in theory, it's going to be delt to pec ratio. Thanks for your advice. Stay blessed on this side of the world. It's time for bed. Good night, Lopez. Cheers, Liz. Can we discuss the power levels of your glasses? I'm guessing they have, what? No, dude, I just have normal glasses I got at Costco, man. All right. I don't even know what that means, man. Power level of the glasses. I don't know, man. I'm a fantasy nerd, not like a tech type nerd. Getting me all confused. All right. Oh. Guess we're not going to get as many fitness questions yet. Get those likes up though, guys. That'll get the view count up. We'll get more people in here, more stuff. But we are making a good pace today. I like it when I can get a good steady pace going like this, because I know I'm burning through plenty of calories, even though it's still lifts, you know. So yeah, Prophet, I have no idea how to even address this sci-fi scenario. Plus, if I even entertain stuff like that, anytime I entertain anything funny like that, man, people like try to turn it into, I'm claiming it for real, and they make it into a crazy Blaha's delusional thing. Like, it's messed up, but it happens. I'm not even allowed to troll or joke sometimes. It gets made into videos. Look how crazy Blaha is. He thinks his glasses have magical power levels. He needs to be in an insane asylum. Whereas anyone who would actually watch those videos is the one that needs to be locked up. All right? Just saying. But that's the other point too with what I do. That's why I just need to get lean. I don't have to worry about any sort of publicity or anything once I get leaner. My own history and already current outreach kind of handles that. Sorry, do you count steps? No, I count time. I literally just log time. I don't count steps, I don't count distance. And we don't have to. It's really not necessary. It's not like progressive overload where we're seeking a structural adaptation, right? We're not seeking a structural adaptation. In this case, I am purely burning through calories. And so, you know, I'm just trying to create an enormous deficit through cardio. Although potentially, looking at what my intake has been the last day or so, I'm below my non-cardio maintenance while still doing this much cardio. Now people would say, is that risking muscle loss? Not with my training dialed in, my strength staying, and with my protein intake and other stuff. Should be okay. Calvin says, hey Jason, what's up, Calvin? I'm doing good, man. How about you, brother? So we have about 30 minutes left on this walk before we probably need to go in, throw the phone on the charger, and get some other stuff done, and then come back and knock another one out. Mainly the phone charge is my biggest struggle with these. Unfortunately, that and needing to go to the bathroom and stuff. Like, there's literally no way that my phone will handle 3 hours of streaming on one charge. It can't be done. It'd be nice if it could, but it's got to charge between. So even if I go charge it and take 20 or 30 minutes, it obviously doesn't reach full charge again, unfortunately. But, you know, I could use both phones, but then I'm having 2 phones get low. I mean, that's an option I've considered, right? I've considered that option. Just grabbing my other phone each time while this on charges. That's a possibility. But I don't like to stream. I like to use just one phone for this so I don't put wear and tear on my main use phone. So I tend to do all my streaming and all my lifting recording on my backup phone. Right? What's your overall favorite exercise to do in the gym? Everybody tell him, all the fans, everyone knows my favorite exercise. I've been saying it every day for 12 plus years. The conventional deadlift is my absolute hands down favorite exercise. Although I really feel like I should change that to bench press, honestly, just because I could use the extra upper body, right? Adam says, but you know, I should almost make it the barbell curl, right? Since I need more arm. Convince myself. Although, you know, I could make a case for something else. Here's a different mindset. Your favorite exercise should be the one you are in the middle of a set doing right now. How's that for a mindset? How's that for a mindset? The lift that you are doing at this moment should be your favorite, even if it's one that you normally hate. How much protein synthesis only? Man, that's being debated right now. So here's the problem with that idea. I've seen some experts and PhDs throw into question those numbers. Does that make sense? So if I go on the data we had 10 years ago, that appears to be it. Make sense? However, some of the more current researchers are saying that may not be accurate. So if I give you a definitive answer and say it's undisputed and we know for a fact that's what it is in the science, I would be lying. It was generally believed to be that, yes, but it is currently in question. Right? Can I get a conservative estimate on what you have spent on the gym equipment? $30,000 over the many years, maybe 30 grand. Keep in mind all those plates and some of the stuff I have. All right. Keeping in mind, I have over 1,000 pounds of rogue plates, all calibrated or training. The training plates are more expensive than calibrated plates, by the way. Those plates are like $200 a plate. You know. Oh man. So yeah, I'm doing that, and then I literally have goofballs on the internet accusing me of being on welfare and government assistance. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about how crazy that is. All right. Oh Lord. I just can't with dumbasses on the internet sometimes. I just can't. There you go. Let's talk politics. Maybe the government should just find all the really crazy ass weirdos on the internet, round them up, and just do away with them. That is not very freedom of America of me to say. I need to not be like that. Just how I feel with stupidity online sometimes, though. Maybe it's time to just do that. You know? All right. Up early, Coach. Love it. We're definitely up early because I did a short one of these on Facebook before this. So I've been at it for almost 40 minutes. I mean, bro, get your glute bridge up to 1,000 pounds. That would make some heavy. Yeah. You imagine a legit 1,000-pound glute bridge, how strong that person's glute would be. I mean, I've done 600 for a few reps, and that's cray-cray, you know. Has a fitness equipment resale held value? I don't think so, not necessarily. Although I haven't been trying to resell really. Morning, Coach. Good morning, Lars. Get them lights up, by the way, guys. Come on. This stream has been super slow, but now people are waking up. The sun is coming out. People don't realize the real world carryover the glute bridge has. Well, they don't realize the real carryover of all glute exercises. You know, I mean, and we don't want to ever say, hey, this is the most important, but realistically, the highest percentage of your force production in most sports, including powerlifting, including, different sports, anything that involves power from the hips, the glutes is the highest force production muscle involved. Just straight up, it's the highest percentage. At what body fat percentage would you say bulking shouldn't be done? Like even a lean bulk, I'd say, yeah, maybe 15%. Like realistically, if we're going to talk peak health, if you're going to talk health and fitness, right? We really shouldn't be going over about 15% body fat. There's no benefit, right? Breaking a sweat, Coach. Yeah, of course we're breaking a sweat. We out here doing brisk walking. And just because it's morning and it's overcast doesn't mean it's not Texas. Right? So we meet again. The guy who called you. Hey, dude, you're gonna need to be more specific. All right? Dude just came in here and says, I'm the guy who called you baldy in a stream the other day. Could you be more specific? That's kind of like, I don't think you know how common that is. You know? Oh man. So that narrowed it down to about 50 people. All right, cool. You're gonna have to be more specific than that, home skillet. So many people call you hey body. Yep. And they comment on the bald head a lot. Dude. And then the number of people who either compare me on a daily basis, by the way, daily basis, to Walter White, Johnny Sins, or Steve Austin is every single day. Every day. Sometimes multiple times a day. All right. No joke, Jason. I see you walking. No, you aren't. So, yeah, that would go really badly. You can't just do that. Oh man, look at this weirdo. Yep. I'm not even going to respond to that. There's no need for me to explain how that would work. That would be challenge me with a bat while I'm walking out. Ooh, so you got a deadly weapon you're now brandishing and threatening me with while I am breaking no laws. Well, my friend, it's nice knowing you. All right, next. Yeah, that would basically be you just deciding that you don't want to live anymore. That would be the end of it. Yeah, pretty much. But the calling the police, yeah, you'll get in trouble for that. You can't just do that randomly just because you feel like it. There can be ramifications for false police reports. That's actually up to prison time here. You greeted me and then I approached you with getting offended. Then you said, whatever. I'm Australia. We're just going to leave this clown in. What's up, Chad? Chad's a regular in here. Oh, yeah. So some of these are just nonsense stuff. Let's get over to actual real conversations. Chad brings up real conversations. Man, dudes are so weird on the internet. They act so tough, and it's just like, dude, I'm not even gonna fight you. It's not even good. You're not gonna even make it to me. Like, done. Sorry, homie. Yeah, you're not actually physically going to reach me. That's not going to happen. All right. You walking. What do you mean? I'm not the only guy out walking with no shirt. There's at least 10 dudes in my neighborhood who walk or jog shirtless all the time out here. It's perfectly normal. No, I don't watch UFC. Yeah, it's perfectly normal. Like nobody even really thinks anything of it. You know, see dudes out here even doing their lawn and just shorts. It's really normal. Maybe our culture is different. Like maybe skin is forbidden where you live. You know, maybe you're like in some extreme Islamic state or something. Nope. Same thing, you see women out here doing their thing, sometimes wearing just a little like sports bra or whatever, and their small shorts. So it's normal, dude. No, it's not topless, it's just a hot climate. I live in a very warm climate, very hot, humid place, so it's normal. Like nobody's out here trying to be wearing 5 layers of clothes in the heat and humidity we have here. All right, about to hop off. You get a 4:30 a.m. client to train in the SoCal. There you go, man. 4:30. Big coach, what's up, Peppermint? We're getting a couple weirdos in here. It's all good. Drop a like for daddy. Appreciate it, man. Like I said, this one may not get amazing views because it's early, but it is trickling up finally. We're finally trickling up over 30 minutes deep, so that's good. We're getting some regulars in here, though. But we're going to make good time with this today. I mean, we're going to have this first hour done super, super fast. It's weather. Okay. So, Lars, look at this prophet guy still just going on. He started off somewhat nice, but then he just got weirder and weirder. All right. Coach, if you wake up at 4 to 5 a.m., does that mean you're going to bed? Dude, I go to bed super early. I go to bed super early, dude. So, like the sun is still up when I go to sleep. Like it's not even dark outside when I go to bed. I usually put a movie or a show on and just fall asleep. So, I've been tapped out for a while. What are the numbers and gains looking like? Well, considering I'm doing 3 hours of cardio today on a dedicated cut with a bodybuilder prep type diet, the gains are not happening. I am, however, dropping 2 pounds of fat a week. So does that count? All right. So this prophet guy, do you guys know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of the Boondocks I hear in the back. Oh, you got bad credit, Robert. Right? Those who know the Boondocks. All right. I don't know. It varies from day to day, man. You're going to have to go look it up, the exact time it gets dark. So go look up Houston, Texas region this time of year, and it'll give you an exact time for sun up and sundown. I can't give you those numbers. I don't even know. I'm asleep by the time the sun goes down most of the time, so I couldn't give you an exact number. Coach, what do you think about the assault bike for regular cardio? I mean, it's just another thing. I would much rather just do what I do than be on those. But those seem almost more hit-based, aren't they? I'm trying to do lists for a reason. I don't want to interfere with my lifting. I don't want my cardio to be a problem for the interference with my training when I'm in a deficit. All right. Coach, so, if you need higher levels of conditioning specifically, sure, those things make sense. As long as you know why you're doing it. How do you feel about Elgin's stuff in retrospect? What do you mean? I mean, I haven't seen anything Elgin made. Elgin only did trolling videos, right? Am I forgetting something? So maybe I remember Elgin, you guys did. Elgin wasn't a fitness person, right? Elgin just made troll videos. Like, I don't think he actually talked about lifting or programming or nutrition at all, did he? So he wasn't like a fitness person. He was a guy who happened to lift a little bit as a minor side hobby in his life, who ran a troll channel, making fun of CrossFit, making fun of other people. That was my understanding. I was unaware that he'd ever discussed actual fitness information at all, to my knowledge, and I could be wrong. If he did, I was legitimately unaware of it. Elgin primarily called out bad form. No, he trolled people though too. Like, he used to troll me and start fights with me. All right, so I mean, he was basically just a troll channel. If your whole thing is just calling out bad form, you're just trolling, all right, for entertainment. I mean, that would be a form of trolling, right? So that was my understanding of what he did. I mean, I don't know what my opinion is supposed to be of that. I mean, I guess if you can make a lot of money trolling, then do it. I'd never found it entertaining, personally. Actually, it's just a form of trolling. Beavis Nad says, hello, dudes. Right? CrossFit deserves all the trolling you can get. But not all CrossFit is like that. So, I've met CrossFit coaches who are super big on technique and form. So I think you have to be aware it's not CrossFit in general. There are good coaches and boxes for CrossFit too, right? So just be aware of that. And there's some really bad ones and stupid stuff. Like the whole kipping thing is just dumb. Like for Blaha, appreciate it, Carol. Let's keep them likes flowing. Always appreciated. You know, so just remember that CrossFit got really big to the point where there is a more diverse amount of stuff. You know, it started really small and then it got popular. It had a lot of issues, but as more experienced coaches came in, stuff got a lot better in a lot of the boxes as it grew. So remember, guys, literally Louis Simmons used to go do CrossFit seminars to teach them stuff. So CrossFit did reach out and learn from a lot of good coaches for a lot of their boxes and education and stuff over time, right? Is tempo on lifts? I think spending a lot of time thinking about tempo is probably not useful. Either you're trying to control a lift or you're trying to be really explosive. Thinking of tempo as far as counting seconds is I would say is a complete waste of time, hypertrophically, whatever else. Like, you just look at the data. It's not really something you should focus on. Like, even for me, okay, when I get close to failure, I'll slow down the last rep sometimes, like the eccentric, just to make sure the rep is harder and that I'm very, very close to failure. So probably no reps in reserve when I do the last one. But, you know, outside of that, I don't think there's anything to it. People who claim there is, like, but I do it and I'm a pro bodybuilder. It's like, okay, but if you can't use that anecdote, you have to look at biologically what's happening in the body. Is it doing anything? Is there any benefit? And if you can't find that, you can't use anecdote, because here's why I say that. So you're a pro bodybuilder with good genetics on lots of drugs and you achieve this doing it, but what about the guys who beat you who don't do it? So if we use anecdote only, then that proves it's dumb. Because it's like the Ronnie Coleman won more Mr. Olympia. Oh, you've never won a Mr. Olympia. And he didn't do any of that. So do you see the problem with that logic? But it's like, I can go find 8 Mr. Olympia winners who never did any of that. So they can't even use their bodybuilding results to back it. Makes sense? Because if that was the criteria, then Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jay Cutler, none of those guys would have won anything. So then people say, well, they just got there through drugs and genetics. Well, maybe so did the guy who's in the tempo stuff. All right. Jason, some experts say dairy is inflammatory. No, they don't. Done. No, they don't. What experts say dairy is inflammatory? You're telling me nutritional science researchers who measure this in the lab are out saying dairy is inflammatory? Okay, well, show me the studies. Oh, they don't have any. So they just made it up? So what do your colleagues think about this? All right. Hey, Jason, that 205 WordPress with Ted with soup. Ted's coming along, dudes. Skin health gurus. Oh, those are not experts. I mean, I'm not an expert. I don't have any real knowledge of skin health per se. But, I mean, do we have real data on this? And what's their proposed mechanism? And the only mechanism I ever see, but that's not inflammation. Okay, so let's come over to inflammation. Okay, I had a guy try to pull that the other day because he gets gas from a food intolerance. He said, that's proof of inflammation. No, it's not. That's not inflammation. So using that logic, if you're lactose intolerant and you drink milk and you get explosive diarrhea that sprays everywhere, that's not inflammation. That's called a GI tract intolerance. So you see what I mean? So we're going to really use that word inflammation. That has a medical meaning. So for it to be inflammatory, it means we drink it, we go pull blood work. We check A1C, cortisol, all these other various inflammatory markers and see what happens. All right? Greek yogurt for life. Coach, have you heard from Adam? No, I talked to him very briefly in Messenger. I know he pulled all his podcasts down at one time. He's got some stuff going on he's not talking about in his life. That's all I know. I haven't talked to him in months. I reached out about 4 months ago, and that's been the end of it. I mean, he's still on my Instagram and stuff, but he's clearly going through some stuff, which kind of sucks because he had told me even a week later he really wanted to do another couple of them with me. Jason, what was your all-time max on football? I have no idea. I would have no clue, dude. No clue. I don't know if I ever maxed on it. If I did on Conjugate, I'd need to go check my sheets. I don't remember. How much weight have you gained? What are you talking about? I'm cutting right now. What do you mean the last cut? Bro, I'm at 217 and dropping. What are you talking about? You guys confuse me with some of these questions. I feel like y'all don't keep up with what I'm doing. All right. Yeah. All right. What's your goal weight? I don't know that I have one. People keep asking. So I was chatting with a friend of mine yesterday about that too, who also sees what I look like. And I told them I'm thinking I need to probably go as low as 200 and then kind of see. But I have a goal look. I don't have a target weight. Does that make sense? I know what I want my abdominal and waistline to look like. That is a goal. Now, as to if that's going to be at a set number, I don't know. I do feel like around 200 may be a good baseline to assess that and see where I'm at. Coach, do you ever see yourself going below 200 pounds body weight? Yeah, of course. Think about it this way, Peppermint. I'm 48. Again, I know I say that a lot. It's relevant. How many years do you think it's really healthy for me to be above 200 pounds? You know, so that's the stuff I have to think about with that too. So another reason I'm getting leaner now. You know, could I see myself walking around at a lean 185 in my 50s? Like, would that be perfectly, and that's not that far away. Guys, I mean, I turned 49 in like 6 months. So, am 50 that far away? Right? How do you qualify the look you like? Alan, I qualify it by, I want my abs to have this amount of depth and definition. That is how I quantify it. Makes sense? So, basically, let me just break down the look I need. I want to see no love handle, no pinchable skin, real thick skin on my low back, nothing that looks like a fold anywhere around the low back or love handle, and I want all abs clearly visible at distance. Makes sense? Like, I want to see full six pack that you can see it 20 yards away. That's the goal. That's the the specific look that I am looking for. I'm not looking for contest lean. But let's talk golden era bodybuilding lean. So there we go. How about the body fat you saw on golden era IFBB pros, right? But we're not looking to be contest shredded. Maybe Butthead can find. Yeah, you look very different. I mean, I would have to lose muscle to be 185, honestly. If my previous DEXA scans were an indication, I would have to sacrifice muscle. But there will come a point where I go, I mean, Blaha walking in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, maybe I do need to be at 185. Dude, once I'm past up into my 50s, probably be a good idea. But, you know, be very lean. I would probably still look pretty big, yeah. Especially if it's much, much, much leaner. Hey, sure as, like, you literally know how I'm doing it the same way every successful bodybuilder has done it. I'm using the most time-proven method. So what are you talking about? And I've also not put effort into getting that lean. I've generally got as lean as I wanted to get in previous cuts, and people failed to realize that. They didn't seem to grasp. And I made that clear. It's like, oh, we reached the target weight, we're good. So not a big deal. This time I am shooting for much leaner. So how are we doing that? Chicken, brown rice, broccoli, lots of list cardio. I don't know, the same way 20,000 bodybuilders have gotten ripped throughout history, right? It's very straightforward. And you see me doing it. You see my meals. I post my meals every day, Chaz. You see all my food, right? You see it every day, and you see all the cardio. So it's very straightforward. It's very documented. Like, you know literally what I'm doing. Is that fair? People assume because someone is cutting that they're trying to get shredded. Yeah, no, just trimming some fat off usually. Kristen is eating noodles, bro. I love you. Cool. Awesome, man. Get your carbs in. All right? Yeah, and that's a strange assumption, Peppermint, because they're coming from the bodybuilder side. They're not coming from the rest of the lifting world side. And that's okay. I mean, people can misinterpret whatever they want. But I mean, I can say that short of when I've been obese, I am very clearly cutting harder than I have ever cut on this channel. Like, and you guys can clearly see that. If you look at food, but do you classify? I'd classify myself as actually a bodybuilder. But at this point, and Shaz, and that's the whole thing, I don't care. Like, I've made that clear with this particular cut. If my strength goes down, we live with it. I can always build strength back up to compete in a lighter weight class. I did it before, remember? I broke state records in the 198 after the water cuts. Like, not a big deal, dude. So, and I can look at it that way coming up for age 50 Masters 3. So let's say I turn 50 and I'm walking around at 200 pounds. And then I jump in and go for a bunch of records again. Context, you know. You got to think age and weight class. But I mean, objectively speaking, anyone who's watched me can tell with the amount of cardio I'm documenting and looking at the food I'm taking the pictures of every day, I am obviously cutting harder than anyone has seen me do on YouTube. Consistently. I think last year you were pretty lean, powerlifting and conjugate. It's not good for your mindset to stay lean. For me, no, the max lifting, because I need to really get lean, I feel like the conjugate will mess with my mindset, yes. I start missing lifts on max effort that I previously hit. Do you think that's good for my mindset when I'm in a cut with a set goal of getting leaner? So, and I'm saying as a coach who coaches people, I know that would destroy one of my lifters. So why would I do it to myself? The weight loss will be proof of a successful cut, right? And the weight's going down. I mean, obviously when we upped carbs and cardio, I put on 5 pounds the first week. It just happened. But now we're down 5 from the original while keeping carbs and salts really high. although my calories have been slowly coming down more and more. So I thought I'd whoosh. I only ate, when I added it up, I ate 2,600 calories yesterday. That's insane for me, and did 3 hours of cardio and a leg day. So, because I normally eat like 4,000 calories, guys. I don't care about answering if anyone's natty or not, the golden one. Talking about Marcus Fullen. A lot of people claimed body recomp when they miss weight loss goals. The scale is, yeah, scale's a great tool. Scale and waist size. Are you cutting approximately a pound? Peppermint. No, I'm cutting like 2 pounds a week. Yeah. No, I am cutting. Cutting. Like for real cutting. No, I don't need an arm day again. I don't think it's necessary. The 4-day is good. I'm just adding extra bicep work just because. Training shoulders every day, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend training your shoulders every day. Again, the potential for overuse is going to get really, really high on that. You know? Yeah, stupid question from me seeing that much cardio, right? Yeah. Yeah, like we're for real cutting. We're not doing, oh, let's just slowly. No, that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just going to do it all and just push and just get down and just stay consistent with that mindset, which means an entire mindset paradigm shift. Which means not don't worry about conjugate. Look, I can do 5 to 8. I can do 5 to 10 reps on most of my stuff. Try to stay fairly heavy. Try to keep the muscle I have. All right. Even training a muscle 3 days a week, you better know what you're doing. Volume's going to need to be very low. Are you doing extra bicep work on a different day? No, I did 7 sets. So I did 7 sets of curls on the upper body day this week. That's extra bicep work, right? All right, I may take it up more. So, hey Jason, what are your thoughts on creating education content on a hard goal you have achieved? And so, what? I don't understand. I don't have thoughts about that at all, Joel. I have no idea. I don't think about that at all. I have no thoughts. Dude, I'm like over an hour into my cardio fasted. Dude's asking me thoughts about his business idea. I don't know, man. I don't care. I'm not being a dick. I have no thoughts on it. I like doing bro splits, but I can't help but feel upper or lower is more optimal for muscle growth. I mean, we could argue it all day. So what weight you want to have? No, I never said that, Carol. Carol, you missed that whole conversation. I keep saying I don't have a goal weight. I feel like I'm like a broken record. But I did say in a conversation with someone yesterday, with a friend of mine, because this came up, of 200 might be a good assessment point. Makes sense. Have you ever dealt with uneven floor homes? Yeah, in the UK, I had that a lot. Right? You guys remember that? Like, go back 12 years. That little shed I was squatting in definitely had some uneven floor. Right? Absolutely had that. You know? All right, guys. I think we've done really good time here. In the UK, you never trained outside. I totally trained outside. Dude, you didn't watch my channel in the UK, then go back and look. You clearly didn't watch it. All right. I did tons of outside training, and even that shed was just a shed with an open door. Like, and then I did a bunch of it on the slab outside, right out there in the sunlight. I did all the time. I really hope you're kidding. I really hope you're just trolling me. Who is that friend that sometimes trained you in the UK? No, it wasn't in the shed. That was that storage unit I had for a little while. It was just another smaller YouTuber and lifter. It was a local lifter who was doing some bodybuilding and stuff, and he wanted to come train with me, so we did that some. Now, I used to go train at one of the gyms with some of my powerlifting bros. We competed together. All right, I don't know my body fat. Yeah, I did tons of demonstration videos outside. Yeah, it was a small backyard. Yep. I mean, there were memes made. Remember, there were people who made memes of me doing the pull-ups with chains outside in the sun and slowing it down and zooming in on my face. Oh, you know, there were whole video memes all over YouTube of me doing pull-ups outside. I mean, they were tens of thousands of views. So, I mean, that was a thing 12 years ago, right? Yeah, I was deadlifting every day. They were sub-maximal. They were like 85% singles. So I was doing that for a little bit. Mainly just because I love the deadlift so much. Do you eat pork? Very rarely. I'm not a pork fan, honestly. I know I'm Slavic and I just said that. People are like, you're no true Slav. This is a Western Spyro. Watch his heels when he squats. All right? Oh, man. I may have just committed a cardinal sin. Like, I'm going to go to Slavic hell now. True, that chin up with the chains is very famous clip. Yep. I mean, yeah, I saw one person redo it and slow it down and zoom in on the face, and it got like 30,000 hits. So, I mean, yep. What do you think is better? Tension on the stretch of the muscle being stretched, like preacher curl, incline curl? What are we looking for? It's just going to be a different set of fibers being hit a little different. They're both valid. So what do you mean better? There's no better. It's just different. They both work really, really well. Yep. How's that? Probably not the answer you were looking for, but it's the answer you're going to get. You know? Be like, Coach, why you like that? We have to be. All right, so we've hit like an hour and 10 minutes or so, maybe more. I'll have to check the Facebook time. I'm gonna get inside. I'm gonna get this phone charging, rest for a few, work on little projects, and get a cup of coffee, and I'll come hit another one of these while the weather is permissible. Coach, why do some countries have more of a fighting culture? Because they're degenerate. They're uncivilized. Yeah, it's just degeneracy, social degeneracy. You know, I live in a polite society. Like, that's a weird thing. People are like, they're thinking they have a misconception of Texans. Like, oh, they all get drunk or get in fights. No, that's the UK. We have a line here, and it's an armed society is a polite society. Texas men behave as gentlemen. We don't yell or cuss in public. We hold doors for people. We're very polite. And everybody is strapped. So, you know, it's just how it works. All right, guys. I love you guys. It's time to wind this down. I'm home. I'm going to do another one of these here shortly. It's not going to be long. We'll get another hour up. So talk to you guys next time. We carry more knives here than you guys do in the UK. We all carry knives here. They're legal. We can carry Bowie knives are legal to open carry in Texas without a license. All right, so I'm out, guys. Take care.